Hello, and welcome to Morning Call for Thursday, the 7th of March, 2019. I'm Fab. I'm calling you from Hamburg, where it's grey, but I don't care. That fits my mood. I have not slept much the last few days. It's my own fault. I'm doing too much. Should be sleeping more, so I need some coffee. Hope you're doing better. I might be a bit disjointed today. I feel kind of like that Battlestar Galactica episode where the Cylons keep jumping in every 32 minutes. That's pretty much me right now. So anyway, don't want to whinge too much. It's not that bad. I was producing content, and that's well worth it. Anyway, let's get into the tech news for today. Still a bit of a slow news week, to be honest. The first story I have here is that there is a critical security vulnerability in Chrome that has been fixed. And sorry for that, bumping the microphone. That has been fixed, and there are updates. So anybody using a Chrome or a browser based on Chrome should update it. Google's not really saying what it's about. Just that's a use after free bug, and apparently it is a 0-day vulnerability. So it has been exploited in the wild. It was exploited in the wild before Google fixed this. I guess we only get the details once they're pretty sure everybody has fixed their stuff. But update your browsers. Always a good idea. But right now it's maybe even more important. Okay, what else do we have? We have some other security news. We have Microsoft saying, according to the story in the Wall Street Journal, we have Microsoft saying that they have evidence that Iranian hackers have attacked more than 200 companies worldwide and have caused massive destabilization. So targets of these attacks is supposed to be oil and gas companies, industrial manufacturers and other big international companies, and in Germany, Saudi Arabia, the UK, India, the US. Not many details on the story, so I don't know what to think. Might be one of these political things where they're like, okay, we need to finger Iran a little bit now, so let's roll out the cyber again. Oh, one thing, by the way, I've forgotten. I just want to thank everybody who's following the channel again, because I have 97 followers now, coming up to 100. Yay! Nearly forgot about that. In Facebook news, the Zuckerbot is, one would say, is lying again. It sounds like it. So Mark Zuckerberg published a statement on privacy. The headline is a privacy-focused vision for social networking. And he's basically saying, had to change the heart. I looked at the issues challenging Facebook in the last years, and it's privacy, and we need to fix that. Um, and we want end-to-end encryption, and yeah, are we believing him? Is this like reasonable? I mean, he's saying he wants more parts of his company have end-to-end encryption, like WhatsApp. Um, yeah, Esky puts it well in the chat. I think privacy in Facebook, that's incompatible. I mean, if you're really doing this, Zach, if you're doing end-to-end encryption with everything, then your services won't be able to look into this, right? I mean, okay, there is other stuff where you're posting a public update. You know, that's obviously not end-to-end encrypted, but still, it 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 just doesn't ring true. Like, why have you built the whole thing like you did, and now you suddenly have a change of heart? This just sounds like PR nonsense, to be honest. Um, I don't know. I don't really trust Facebook right now. I don't know if I've ever trusted them, but right now it's particularly worse. I mean, we just had that story yesterday with where they used two-factor authentication emails to send people advertising, or was it the day before? I don't know. Did I mention I'm tired? um, yeah, it's just like I'm not buying it, Zach. I'm not buying it. But they keep trying to. They keep trying to say this. Um, it's end-to-end encryption with small stops on Facebook servers. Easy, says Reamed. Yeah. Mike says more rum. Like, one of the reasons I'm tired is we were recording Geek News Radio till late last night, and Mike talked me into rum, and that's part of the problem, or maybe part of the solution. Who knows? More rum's always good. Um, I do still have the bottle here. My wife will kill me. It's not good. I talked about that Ghidra NSA tool yesterday. I did what? You convinced yourself? Yeah, basically I did. Yeah, you're right, dude. I need to blame somebody, and you're in Ireland, right? You're safe from my wife, so. I talked yesterday about that NSA tool, Ghidra, like the reverse engineering tool, and I installed it and had a look at it, and yeah, it seems pretty cool. I mean, I don't like do a lot of reverse engineering, but I've used IDA, and in the past, but like it looks very much like IDA. It seems to have a lot of the same features, even some like new features and stuff. It runs on Linux, runs on Windows, runs on macOS, written in Java. I mean, it looks like a fucking Java app. It looks like something from the 1990s, but it does its job. And Mike looks concerned what phone call he's going to receive from my wife. No, I wouldn't. I'm not saying anything. Yeah, it looks very interesting. I mean, it has the downside that it's from the NSA, like with the obvious caveat there, but it's kind of interesting because, I mean, IDA Pro is very, very expensive. That's several $1,000s depending on what you're doing with it, but for one license, and this seems to do a lot of this stuff, or maybe even more than IDA, and it's open source, and I think simply for that reason it will be used by a lot of people. It seems to be very powerful and a good tool. Just interesting. Just have to keep an eye on the on the backdoor code there. In some plain news, we were talking about the Airbus basically killing the 380. Boeing is going to announce their newest plane, the 777X, in a few days. This is the one that can fold up its wings and has like different, like the wingtips fold up during taxi. And it's kind of like I'm reading the story on Golem, and it's kind of like their latest, like it's their last like innovation, or it's generally the last innovation in planes, in passenger planes that we're gonna have for a while, because Airbus apparently is obviously is not doing something new. The next evolution with Boeing will be like, and apparently until 2020 they want to decide if they're gonna do a successor to the 757. Um, that would be 2025 until that's ready to go. Then um, the rumored name is 797 for that machine, but we don't know yet. I mean, the 777X is basically going to replace all the 747s, which are not economical again because of the 4 engines. I guess airlines have kind of figured out that it doesn't happen that often that like one of these planes will crash because it's just got 2 engines and one fails and then it crashes into the ground, and then it's like not that expensive paying everybody off when this happens once every 10 years or whatever, as compared to like paying all the fuel on the 747, which could cope with that engine failure. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the 777. It's a bit spooky to me, but they have some nice features. It doesn't only have like fold up wings. This new plane, they said they're also aiming at making the cabin more comfortable for passengers. And one of the things they said was that it's gonna have more it's gonna have better moisture in the air, which sounds like a small thing, but if you're flying a lot, you know that like the bloody air in there is always like completely like dried out, and it kind of dries out everything, like your nose and your eyes, and that's people get sick, and it's just not good. So that would be something. Yeah, so this thing's pretty big, 400 to 425 passengers, and it has a range of 14,000 kilometers. So, I mean, if you compare that to the 747-8i, that's like the newest version, has 410 passengers, and only has 800 kilometers more range. That's pretty good. Like the A380 has 509 passengers, 12,000 kilometers range. So this has more range than the 380, but less passengers. Yeah, interesting. So I guess not so much new things happening in civil aviation for the next few years. That's kind of like the new thing. I have reported on the fact that Anthem is crashing consoles, like the new game there, the new big game from EA that hasn't launched as well as it should have, I guess, but was crashing. Also, like there was news out now that it was crashing consoles, and Anthem, the developers have now, like BioWare has now said that they are aware, and they will deploy a fix, probably next week, to fix PlayStation 4 crashing. Actually, it's on the 12th. They're expecting that patch. Yeah, that's on Tuesday. So at least they have seen that problem. So if you're playing Anthem on a PS4, anything keeps crashing, there is hope inside. And that's pretty much it for the real news. Got 2 more stories. I saw on Eurogamer this morning a report on an upcoming game coming to PC and Switch this year, which is called Stranded Tales, which is, by all accounts, kind of big like Stardew Valley, except it's not pixel art, it's like a voxel kind of thing, and it's set like in pirate times, and you shipwreck on an island with your crew, and then you need to survive, and it's not like hardcore survival, it's more like Stardew Valley kind of thing, like you need to farm and stuff, and you can discover secrets on the island, and it looks cute and really nice, and interested in that. I'll be looking at that when that comes out. That it's like a cool game. They're saying Q2 this year on PC. with the Switch version later. And then just to round out the show, I have one funny story on the register, because we have to have a register story every day here. And also, obviously, the story is funny and great. So now bear with me here. So MIT Technology Review wrote a story at the end of February about a paper that some math researchers did at Brandeis University in the US. And it basically, the paper says that tries to explain mathematically why hipsters always look the same. So as the register says, the paper essentially posited that in a bid to make that all-important countercultural statement, hipsters can end up looking alike. And I have no fucking idea why that is a math paper, but anything is a paper these days apparently, so why not? The funny thing comes now with the fact that MIT Technology Review wrote a story about this and used an image from Getty Images as their stock photo, which is like a guy in profile with like a hipster beanie and a stylish shirt. And they got a complaint by a hipster who says, "Why the fuck are you using a picture of me in like your in your story, and you're like slandering me and or libel? I think is it libel? Is it slander? Is it libel? Anyway, slander. He accused us of slandering him. So this is the editor of that story. We promptly on Technology Review, we promptly got a furious email from a man who said he was the guy in the photo that ran with the story. He accused us of slandering him, presumably by implying he was a hipster, and of using the pic without his permission. And they were like, "Oh shit, we need to research this." Now they were also like, "Is that libel?" I'm not sure that is libel, but aside from that, like, we want to use the picture with permission. So they get in contact with Getty, and they're like, you must have a model release of this photo. Can you look this up? Because I mean, there are terms there that if you're actually libeling people with stock images, like you need to say that like it's a model in the picture or whatever. They just wanted to make sure they're doing everything right. So Getty looks up like the model release, and it turns out it isn't the same guy. Isn't the guy that's complaining. So the story that said we've mathematically proven that hipsters all look the same got proven by like one hipster thinking it was him in the picture and it wasn't. I just thought that was hilarious. I've been once told that if you're a hipster, you have to say you're not a hipster. If you like admit you're a hipster, then you're not a hipster. And I always admitted I'm a hipster, so I guess that doesn't make me a hipster. I don't know. I get often on social media, I get pictures sent to me of guys that vaguely look like me in some like hipster shots, in some like, I mean, if you got the Ray-Ban Wayfarers, that's lots of people have those glasses, and then they're just like guys with beards basically and vaguely gray hair and holding a computer and having tattoos. So I know how that feels. Still want to know in what world that's a math paper though that you can get published. I mean, what's a peer review on that? I mean, I want to see the peer review notes on that. Anyway, I hope you're having a good day, a better day than me, because I have shitloads to do today, and as you probably could tell throughout the show, I can't concentrate. So that's gonna be great. So I'm gonna have some rum now. To wake myself up, and then I'll see you tomorrow for last show of the week, with some more tech news on Friday. Until then, keep wearing them plaid shirts, and get yourself glasses like this we need to look more alike. Until then, see you tomorrow. Goodbye.